Heath with CityChick here, and I am so excited to share with you one of Atlanta's most beautiful chicken coops. This chicken coop is packed with features. It has sliding barn doors, and probably one of my favorite features that I've ever seen on a coop, it's got a chicken silo that has little rungs going all the way up to the top. Let's go meet my friends Julia and Rex, and they're going to give you a tour of their awesome chicken coop.
Hi, I'm Julia.
I'm Rex.
We've been keeping chickens since 2011.
All right, let's tour the coop. One of the maybe differences of opinion we have about the coop is whether or not a raccoon can actually come up here and open this and open the door from here, or do we need this?
They can. They're very smart and they'll
She
do it.
believes they have super raccoon abilities. I'm more of, I think we're okay.
We moved into this house, we had to build the coop. And I was in the coop with the chickens because it was muddy and I was very stressed out, and I shut the door on myself and didn't have my cell phone and learned that I couldn't get out. So this is a very low-tech way to open the door. You just, when you pull on the string, it lifts the lever that unlatches it.
You know, when we built the rungs, we didn't really think they'd go. I mean, we thought that,
I didn't know how much they'd use it. But
and they go right to the top.
they roost at night in the tower. Only a problem when those odd weeks where we have 15-degree weather, where we've had to really keep them from going up there, because they'll get up there at night and they can't get down, and we didn't want them to roost to pieces. So, but all summer and spring and in the fall, most of them roost to sleep at night up here. We have some of the older birds. Camilla goes inside at night to roost.
So one of the things we did in the design was to have a lot of ventilation. And especially in Georgia, it doesn't get that cold that much. We're not New Hampshire or Maine or whatever. It's great, keeps it smelling clean. We also, as Julia will show, have accessibility with doors really on all sides if you count this. So it makes it easier to clean out the coop.
We do close this door, the door behind you. We close that one in the winter.
Yes.
To keep heat in.
And it's odd, they'll go where they want to go. One of our chickens love to roost up here, as you can see.
So we like having the run open to the coop, so we don't have to put them up at night. They put themselves up. Although half of them roost on the tower. So. We noticed some chickens slipping before. So
right, and so
the little
obviously outdoor carpet.
Pieces of wood help, but the carpet does help, and it helps their traction. This little spot makes for a good broody cage. So I have a little device that I made that sits so that they can access the water inside, but there's screen, so whoever's broody gets stuck in there. A few chicken toys, they like standing on these perches. They get on the pine straw, and they get on this a little bit. And they use their toys, it just depends on who's, and they dust bathe every year. One of the best things we did was get the grandpa's feeder, which is great because there's this little treadle and they have to step on it in order to access the feed. And there's a grate here that keeps them from scattering the food around the ground. There's some on the ground here because we also throw a little bit on the ground. But this really we haven't had any rat problems since we did this. In our other coop, we had these nice PVC pipe feeders that were on the outside, and they came down into the coop, which was great because you could, if we were away, people could feed the chickens from outside. However, the rats loved it. I mean, the rats would just like be in the tube. So this is definitely the feeder to have. Rex already said I was worried about raccoons, so we keep this locked to an extra
The flying raccoon.
The flying raccoons. They can climb. This is how we get our eggs, and we love these nest boxes. They're great. I line them with this nest box. It's like hold this, sweetie. A plastic liner, this thing, because it's easy to clean. You can take it out, just had some broken eggs. We put golf balls in so they know where to lay, and it's also, if they do start pecking at the eggs and eating the shells, they peck the golf balls a few times. They don't know the difference, and it'll stop that from happening. That's this.
Well, and another hint for you, have an extra pair of old shoes to wear in the coop.
Yeah.
So that's where the coop will stay.
Doors I only access really when it's time to clean, but I was worried. It was a little bit of an engineering feat because I wanted them to slide, but not a predator be able to get in around. Slides open, and we really really only open it when it's time to clean. And there's also a door in the very back, so I'll just take a hoe usually, or a metal rake, and rake the poop out. And we put down sand and then put some of CityChick's shavings on. I probably clean out the coop probably 4 to 6 times a year, and because the poop builds up and it's not good for them to breathe that stinky stuff. However, at this coop, because really there's only a couple birds that sleep in here at night, they mostly roost in the tower, it makes cleanup a lot easier. There's just not as much. But as soon as it starts smelling bad, basically I rake it out. And I also like to put some like rosemary and lavender. I just sprinkle some stuff in there that also comes.
So at least 2 members of the family have allergies to dogs and cats. So chickens seem like a very good pet.
And we already had bees, but what really got us started was an anniversary present I gave you was to go on the coop tour. Remember that?
Oh yes, we went on the
There was a
coop
coop
tour.
tour in the fall, and we saw all these cool chicken coops in Atlanta, and we decided that's what we wanted to do.
10 right now, 6 old and 4 chicks.
We don't have any two that are the same. We have
Bantams, we have
porcelain dew seal bantam, little white fuzzy furry feet one. We have some Easter eggers. We have some
the
Dominique.
Rhode Island red, because I like
That's Rex's favorite.
big eggs.
We have an olive egger. We have a Polish flubby top, and I think that's an official breed name. I can't remember all the names.
Yeah, when we first did it, there was a chicken picker app, and it would tell you all about different breeds, everything, you know, whether they're heat tolerant, cold tolerant, good egg layers, whatever.
I wanted pretty chickens, and Rex wanted lots of eggs.
I wanted to eat.
Yeah. Camilla is 13 years old, and she was from our very first flock, so she's special. And she was actually the most skittish of that first group. She would not let we could not catch her. But she survived an attack of something that got in the coop one night. We thought she was gone too. And then we went out in the carport, and she was sitting on top of the car at night roosting. She came back, so we're glad she made it. And she's gotten more docile over the years. She jumped up in my lap yesterday. She kind of moves like an old lady, and I give her aspirin water toast in the winter when when her bones seem to be aching. But she's still, last summer she laid a few eggs. She's the only one that lays larger white eggs, so I could tell. And yeah, she's laid all along. She's great.
Challenges I remember, there have been 2, but one was rats in our first coop. We have a much better feeder now, but I will say she has learned to catch a rat with a pair of kitchen tongs. So
Sadly, I got really good at catching the rats.
For this coop, no rat. Rat-free.
Rat-free.
Or
For a
no.
while.
The other, I would say, hawks are our biggest concern.
Predators, for
Predators,
sure.
but hawks, yeah.
We do let the chickens out to free range some, and we always have to keep an eye out.
We usually would only let them out in the middle of the day, because the hawks seem to be more active in the morning and the evening. So, and then what happens is we kind of let them do their own thing, and then we have a close encounter with a hawk, and then it's supervised for a while.
We
So
also
that
are
kinda-
careful of that. It seems to be worse when the leaves are off the trees. So when there's places for them to hide, I also feel like hawks have lots of forage in the summertime. So we're more careful in the winter months when there's not leaves on the trees. We've done that a couple times. It was good. I think the first time we had a relatively young bird. It was just her second spring, and she just dropped dead one day. And then a week later, another chicken it was a different breed, but from the same place and the same age, dropped dead. So we were kind of freaking out. So I was calling around, and we learned about the I think it's near Gainesville, Georgia Poultry Lab, where they do free chicken necropsy, and it was great. We got an email report back. They tested them for all kinds of things and told us there was some kind of bacteria, and we couldn't believe it was free, but yeah, you just drop them off, easy peasy. You just don't, you put them in a cooler, not in the freezer. That's the tip there. You know, we think put them in the freezer, we'll take it somewhere, but not in the freezer. That breaks down the tissue. Chickens love worms, and they especially love these do-good grubs that we get from CityChick. And
We call it chicken crack.
we call it chicken crack. And to get them to come in, I use a silly voice. Chicken, 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 chicken. And shake the worm. Come on, chicken, 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 chicken. Come on, come on, chicken, come on. Come on. That's the sound of the worm.
When we first got our chickens, we have 2 kids, and we each got to pick a breed. And my youngest wanted a silky because that was most like a pet. And one day, his brother and I, we had the chickens out. I don't know, we got distracted, and a hawk got our younger son Silky. And this was just going to be devastating. I called my wife, who's out of town. She's thinking about coming home. But I mentioned that I remember the sort of breeder, whatever you want to call, whoever we got them from. Maybe they have another Silky.
I was like, go, get it.
It's Friday afternoon. I'm in Sandy Springs. The chickens are in Norcross. Can I do it before they close up for the night? So I make it up there. We get a Silky, a sibling. It's a close match, but not identical.
The colors are different. The first one was gray, and this one was a gray-brown mix. And Rex is like, the colors are a little different. I'm like, he is going to know. So they go up to the mountains for the weekend.
Yeah, we get the chicken, but we take our younger son, hasn't seen the switch yet, up to the mountains for the weekend, trying to get some time and distance between all this. He never knew. But oddly enough, one of the neighbor girls comes over. And it's like, that chicken's different.
She goes, the furry one looks different. She knew, she'd seen them once. That furry one looks different. But it was actually at a dinner with some close family friends, and we were telling old family stories, and the friend goes, remember that time that chicken got killed and you didn't tell Sam? And Sam looks at us like, what? So that's how he found out.
If you have a bird feeder, keep it away from your coop or where you let your chickens free range, because seeds will drop from the bird feeder. The chickens will go under it to eat them, but the birds may be carrying a disease or an illness, and that could infect your chickens. So to keep your chickens healthy, keep them away from the wild birds.